So let me read this. Let's now move to our next topic, and perhaps when I go to my panelists, they can do a quick one on the internal happenings within the party before they move to the next topic. But need I remind you that we have 15 minutes to wrap up on this. So we don't intend to do Adwoa Safo's, we don't intend to extend the Adwoa Safo's conversation for that long. Now, P.O. Box GP 21389, Accra, 5th August 2022. The President, Office of the President, Jubilee House, Accra. Dear Sir Ri or Ari, which is reference. Revocation of Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo's appointment. I acknowledge your letter dated 28 July 2022 and would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to serve as Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. On Friday, 29 July 2022, I handed over all official access to the administrator of the ministry. It is with profound gratitude that I express utmost appreciation to you for the opportunity to serve as minister in both terms of your government. It was an honor to serve as this all-important ministry, albeit for a short time. During the period, we put in place enough mechanisms to ensure a harmonious society where the survival and development of women, children, and persons with disabilities, as well as other vulnerable persons in our society, can be guaranteed in line with your vision to transform the social protection framework into a robust and a more responsive one. I am exceedingly grateful for your understanding, compassion, and unending devotion throughout this past year, especially during a very difficult period for me where I have had to be away from office. Your kind support has been very much welcome, and for that I remain eternally grateful. Cognizant of my duties to the 75,000 constituents who elected me, this development is opportune and will afford me more time to concentrate on my parliamentary responsibilities and constituency engagements, as well as consolidate the gains we have made as government at the constituency level in our quest to break the 8. Many thanks. Yours faithful, Honorable Sarah, signed Honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo MP, Mrs. And it's the Vice President, the Office of the President, Jubilee House. The Vice President is also copied. Now, Palgrave, what do you, I'm not going to say what do you make of this letter, but you've lost a very hard-working minister who, for some reason, is unable to be here physically to do her job. She said she could do it, but the president thinks otherwise. He's relieved her of his post, but that had to happen after people, there was hue and cry about why she's been kept there for close to 1 year. Now, how does you're a government spokesperson? How do you feel about this letter that Adwoa Safo has written? Is there something to be worried about? She says, thank you very much. Thank you. Why are there? Now I can focus on my parliamentary duties.
Moro, I'll come to Adwoa Safo's later, but
Okay.
I'd like to respond to a few things.
That's fine.
One, to put on record that the MPP party is a party for the Ghanaian people.
Right.
It's not an account party.
Okay.
The founders and the fathers of the party, as we know it, is Dankwa Dombo Buzia, representing all facets of the country. And the party has grown beyond even these three persons to include other persons from other parts of the country. And so anyone that is continually purporting that the MPP party is an account party should be disregarded. That's number one. Number two, now, Moro, in this country, we are aware that the President of the Republic always reserves the right to appoint electoral commissioners. It's sad for my friend Beatrice to state that the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is going through an unconstitutional mandate. Dr. Kwesi Afari-Gyan was electoral commissioner from 1992. Okay, from 1992. And then Charlotte Osei took over from Dr. Afari-Gyan. Who appointed Charlotte Osei? At the time, it was President John Dramani Mahama, in consultation with the Council of State. Madam Jane Mensah was appointed in August 2018 in consultation with the Council of State by the President of the Republic of Ghana. So I need to be able to state this on record. Then I can go to other issues that you're talking about.
Right.
In regard to the letter, well and good, very much accepted that Adwoa Safo has responded to the letter that the President wrote. I will not read much meaning into it.
Okay.
She represents her constituency, for which reason the Constitution and the framers of the Constitution mandates that you pick 2/3 of your ministers from Parliament. And so she was appointed as the Minister for Gender and Social Protection over the period for the second term of our government. And she served well, clearly. I think that the entire government had been extremely lenient and also extremely caring. And I extended a right hand of fellowship to her over the period when she was absent from her ministerial role, for which reason we needed to have a caretaker minister, the Honorable Cecilia Dapa, to take charge of her ministry, who performed extremely well to the admiration of many. And so it's all well and good. She has to focus
Michael
on her
says sometimes he wonders
constituency.
what data government spokesperson are relying in making these verdicts to Ghanaians and be saying extremely well. The president himself has been championing that.
Data. No. You see,
know.
when those statements are made, they're extremely preposterous.
Right.
I sit in consultation with 28 MMDAs,
Okay.
state ministers that I sit in consultation with on a regular basis based on my KPIs.
Okay, that's fine. Please go ahead.
And so on a regular basis,
Yeah.
I'm well informed.
That's fine. Please go ahead.
And so the data is there.
That's fine. That's
Unless,
fine.
of course, the person is not reading.
That's fine.
I akin my mind and my brains to excellent reading.
Okay.
I don't sleep.
Okay.
And so the data is there.
Right.
You can go and check. The Honorable Cecilia Dapa
She's doing a
performed
fantastic job.
extremely well
Right.
as a caretaker minister.
In
It's
respect
a
of,
fact.
in respect of,
In respect of,
yes.
it's a fact. It's a fact.
In
that
respect of what?
in
So give
respect
us
of performing
examples.
her duties. No, her
Duties generally, I mean,
What
ambiguous.
What are the duties of a minister? The minister takes an oath to perform duties that is mandated within her
We
sector.
know that.
Clearly.
The specific duties you're talking about, the ministry. I mean, projects, what are you? Let us know.
I'll send you the document if you've not read that. I've had platform to share.
we have to move
share this
beyond
over and over again.
Mere
That's the
statements.
truth.
That's fine. That's
I've
fine.
shared- I've shared on this
we don't want to be
platform-
we don't want to be sidetracked, but I think
I've
the point
shared
is
on this
making is
platform a lot more.
that's fine.
The
That's fine.
excellent performance. Unless, of course, people want to say that the minister did not perform
No,
well.
paragraph. That's fine. I think
minister performed
I think
extremely
you-
well.
We're only calling
no,
for
you don't-
evidence,
You
that's
don't have
all.
to
No,
believe
but
it.
the
You made the
evidence is
point.
there.
No, it's okay.
The evidence is there.
It's okay. Let's move on. You've made the point. Let's move on
Which you
because
couldn't
otherwise we'll be
mention.
sidetracked. No, Michael. Let's look. The point has been made. As far as the government is concerned, she's performed. That's
Moro,
fine.
I
So
don't
there's-
know
there's
who is
really
the
nothing
host
more to
here.
say.
Is
That's okay.
he your co-host?
No, Michael is not my
Sorry,
co-host.
Padre.
He's not my co-host. Please go ahead.
So Adwoa Safo says that
Yeah.
obviously, if you are a minister, you also have overriding responsibility for your constituents.
Right.
And every single minister who is appointed in our government, who is also a member of parliament, performs their duties.
Okay.
So if the president has revoked your role and you have accepted it and thanked him for his benevolence to be able to serve in the government, and you have also stated that you are continually remaining in the party, going to serve your constituents, it's all well and good.
Okay.
Because we cannot say that we would deny her of her right. The constituents would have to decide in another election and primaries if they don't want Adwoa Safo to be their representative.
Right. Beatrice, you were one of those who were struggling to understand why the president was waiting or was dragging his feet in relieving her of her post. In fact, there was something you said. I remember you're sitting right here on my left, and you said you had your own suspicions. I don't want to repeat it, but I don't want to repeat
I
it.
remember.
Now, you most definitely and certainly should be very happy that at long last it has happened. No?
Yes, at long last it has happened, except to say that the people who seek to govern this nation, for that matter, a third world country such as ours, must do so in honesty and with candor.
Okay.
It must not be subject to their whims and caprices. There has to be some level of conscionability in our quest to govern the people of Ghana. Because it cannot be right that when it serves them, or when it serves the MPP and this government, something is right. And when it doesn't serve them, something is wrong. I'm sure that Adwoa Safo will probably miss the luxurious private jet that was rented to fly her to come and vote for the e-levy. She certainly will miss the 120,000 cedis from the chief of staff, which was magnanimously given to her.
It was her birthday, it was her birthday.
So she will miss those birthday gifts. And we have to be candid. Now that they took her out from the executive position, they've come to Parliament. She was good for the e-levy, but when she will not succumb to the whims of caprices of this government, she has to go out. And I've heard the MPP side in Parliament say that they want to take Adwoa Safo out and she has to lose her seat. I think that she deserves the Audi Alterum Partum. She deserves to be given a hearing. I would treat her response to the president as sarcasm. I think she was being sarcastic. I think she was telling the president that you may have made a decision. I don't give a hoot about it. Because for more than a year, she was not at post. What new things? What new things? So apart from the largesse she got off the record from government. But I believe strongly that the government is afraid of Adwoa Safo. Remember, she was a minister of procurement. And this is a government that has run a procurement economy than anybody. We have an example of the Sputnik V. We have the example of ABAJ making almost 11 million cedis in the space of 1 year being at the procurement office. So if the procurement board can make that, you can imagine what other government officials have made. With her as a minister, she has a lot. And so they are careful and they are treating her like an egg, because if she decides to speak, this is the end of the government. It possibly can be the end of this government. And that's why they are. So I'm sure her response to the government is just to say that, you know what, maybe you can drink some water. I am not coming to speak anytime soon. But we hope that, like Mr. Ejakun, when the time is right and the dust settles, she certainly should speak. Because sometimes the things happening under this government, they're just unimaginable. And I'm particularly disappointed in the or the society of people who say that they have conscience. Today, the pastors who preach on the economy, we cannot hear them on Adwoa Safo and the bad policies of this government. Today, where is the Peace Council? Today, where is the trade union? Today, where are all those people? And so it appears that in this government, all others do not see evil, know evil, do evil, hear evil. Nothing seems to be working. And everything has been left to the people who are affected to speak for themselves. Okay. And they don't get the opportunity, then the government can do what they are doing with Adwoa Safo.
Michael, we have just 2 minutes to pick your thoughts on Adwoa Safo and whether you think that what has happened to her, it's really going to, you know, and so let's put it this way, what do you make of a political career, the future of her political career? She said she's going to come back when Parliament is resumes, when Parliament resumes. But for now, she's going to be leaving the States.
Well, thank you, Moro. I think there is more to the statement. But before I come to that, briefly on data integrity. So this is factcheckghana.com.
Okay.
And this is May 7, 2020. Yes, government shared different macroeconomic data with Ghanaians and the IMF. So the NPP government have been engaged or has been engaged in instances where they share different macroeconomic data to different actors. Indeed, Ghanaians stated here in this article was actually in reference to Parliament.
Right.
Parliament of Ghana, because it came up on the floor of Parliament. So when I talk about data integrity, and I ask, what data are you relying on? It is because of experiences like this, where we know that the NPP government uses different data set depending on which situation or which condition and how that favors them. And so when we talk about data integrity, it is a very, very serious issue. We are not just saying things in jest. Precisely.
Okay.
And again, when we talk about the work of the acting minister in the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection, and we are unable to mention specific examples of her sterling performance, I can mention, for instance, I work in the gender justice space. And we've been calling for the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill into law for so many years now. I can tell you for a fact that the mere fact that you have ministers being changed at the ministry is even enough to delay the process. And so any government that is sensitive to gender justice and the conversations around that must know this. And this becomes part of how we assess you as a government. And for that matter, your performance at the ministry. So if we want to go to specifics, I can lay them out there. I wouldn't even struggle to mention them. But you see, with Adwoa Safo's letter, I see two things. I see Adwoa Safo, the former Gender, Children and Social Protection Minister, and Adwoa Safo, the Member of Parliament for Domi Kwabenya. Now, when you take Adwoa Safo, the former Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, she echoes in the second paragraph, thanking the President and they having worked together to implement mechanisms that seek to, enhance the development of women, children. What does that mean? As someone who works in the gender justice space, who works in the development space, I would ask such questions. What does that mean? We know for sure that when she was at the ministry and had issues with, was it the national coordinator of the school feeding program, apparently related to ghost names, she ought to terminate the contract with the lady. Was it the late Kwashige's wife?
Yes.
And the lady was reinstated. Clearly, she had issues with government and government's position. So when you put this in your second paragraph, that you've had a harmonious working relationship, and what does that mean? When we know the history, we know what happened in previous time. Again, Adwoa Safo, the Member of Parliament for Domi Kwabenya, there have been, rumors, there have been talks about the CEO of Free Zones Authority moving in. Indeed, there have been plans to even take her out of Parliament. It happened in the last sitting of Parliament. So she is very much aware that this is what my caucus in Parliament wants to do. And the caucus can't do anything without the support of the government, led by Nana Akufo-Addo. And so I am telling you that I still have an eye on the constituency. I am coming full vein.
Don't touch it.
So, interesting things await us
happening.
going to 2024.
All right. Now, Adwoa Havin Tamale says, ask lawyer whether Adwoa Safo, actually says, Wahab Tamale says, ask lawyer whether Adwoa Safo has the right to take part in the vote in Parliament seeking to remove her. Scoring cheap political points will not help the NDC. The NDC lady must know that the MPP is not like the proverbial ostrich. We accept what is going on and we're working hard to resolve it. Yeah, the alternative is scary. Saadugu Ashraf. Good morning to you all. Madam Beatrice, you have spoken my mind. Dr. Bamia is... Okay, I don't want to use these very harsh words. We don't use that in such on my show, on this show. Okay, so
on the 5th of December 2021, the caretaker minister had a press conference, and I'll give the data just because the data is available.
Our time is up.
Just in 30 seconds.
Okay.
She stated very clearly that the ministry had digitalized their services in delivery. They had set up an Orange Support Center. Stated very well the LEAP, the live demonstration app on the Boami app. Stated very well on the single woman citizen engagement services that was ongoing, monies that were given in terms of
these
the
are clearly the
National Household
deliverables.
Registry.
These are the deliverables. Okay.
Very clearly. LEAP
There's a tall list. So you share that with
beneficiaries.
him.
I'll share it with him.
Okay.
LEAP beneficiaries, monitoring of money and everything
So
that.
we are not saying the ministry has come to.
All right.
No,
I want to thank my
and all
resource
that
persons.
were in existence before she came.
I want to
in
thank
as
my
a-
resource persons for joining us this morning. Beatrice Annan is a private legal practitioner and also a member of the NDC's communications team. I want to thank her so much. In fact, yesterday she flew all the way from, I think, Western Region because of this program, and she's probably going back this morning. We're grateful that she was able to do that. And then also, Power Grade Washi Dankwa, government spokesperson on governance and security, and Michael Niabe with the FES. Thank you very much for joining us on another edition of Inside Pages on Metro TV. My name is Audu Moru. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.